So once again, good afternoon and welcome to our class in ATC 129 Post-Harvest Technology. And last time we discussed about considerations in harvesting, and we have watched the videos on harvesting pineapple, mango. So there are still videos left here, which is harvesting banana, and then lettuce and sweet white potatoes, as well as etong Asian coconut farming. So anyway, we shall continue watching them as we finish the unit 2 for our next topic, which is packing house operations. So did you started watching some of the videos on banana harvesting before? Not yet.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon. So,
Yes, ma'am.
nakita na to ninyo nga video.
Before lang, ma'am,
Katong banana harvesting.
Hala, ma'am, wala ko kita, ma'am. Nakalimot ko.
It's all right. So we are now, last time we talked about, again, consideration in harvesting. So after harvesting, we shall have now the packing house operations. So which include, first and foremost, trimming. And I hope this is not the first time you have heard the word trimming, no, for post-harvest. So this is just the general term for cutting or removing unwanted parts, or those which are rejected by consumers or shorten storage life. So usually after harvesting, this is one of the first procedure that is being done. So there's a lot of trimming procedures done, and these are very specific to a crop. We have the handing. So usually, ano yung dinidehand natin? Robert. How about John? So we have the handing, the flowering. So we did this in banana, right?
yes, ma'am, parang proper handling, ma'am, proper handling, ma'am. Or
Yes. So the handing meaning in Bisaya ato siyang sana isipi. Sa lang termana
Ay, sipion.
magsipi.
Sipi, ma'am.
tipion, ma'am, uguan ka lang.
Sipion.
And then deflowering is when this is the male flower, no, you cut the male flower, yung puso niya, when
Puso.
yes, when the fruits, no, the rest of the fruits already are about 6 to or more, no, na hands already. So meron ding specific date for that, but you also measure um, the shape of the banana. And when we say dethorning, of course, it's under, of course, yung mga dinidethorn natin, sometimes yung mga may mga thorn, no? Like for, usually yung roses, no? Then topping, no? Yung kinakat natin yung top. So anyway, these are just dehusking for banana, for coconut, desilking for corn, and detopping for some crops. And I will be defining them in any way one by one. So when we say dehusking, it's the removal of the husk of the sweet corn or baby corn, and even durian. We also call it dehusking. And for the silking is also a term used for the removal of the silk in baby corn and sweet corn. And the topping is also used for the removal of crowns in pineapple fruits. And the handing is used for the separation of hands and removal of stalks in banana. while deflowering is the removal of the floral or stylar remnants of banana. And dethorning is the removal of thorns in roses. And topping is the trimming of the tops and vegetative parts of the carrot, garlic, onion, bulb, and radish. So all of these have different terms per commodity, and the objectives of this is just to facilitate handling in thorns of roses. Of course, we don't want to be cut by thorns, and banana stalks, corn husk, pineapple crown, wrapper of the leaves of cabbage, and also to reduce likelihood of diseases, because this can have also contamination, and minimize damage as well as transpiration and retard sprouting in onion. So the next step is, after trimming, now you clean it. So cleaning is done to meet the demands of consumer, to remove dirt, latex, we call it delatexing, and chemical residues when you did some fungicidal spray or insecticidal spray, and then mealybugs, sooty mold, and others. So have you seen a video already have you seen a video clip na yung strawberry is deep or soaked in water with salt solution? Nakakita na mo na nga video?
Wala pa, ma'am.
Wala pa, ma'am.
It's very common in the nakita lang na ko na siya sa news feed sa Facebook, and parang yung mga life hacks na siya ginatawag, and you notice when you soak the strawberry in a salt solution with water, all of the insects na or yung mga bugs will come out na murag ulod. Yes, it's true. So it's also one way of cleaning the strawberry, and even some other fruits also. So you can also do that as a life hack. And to reduce microbial load, including the coliforms, the protozoans, and the helminths, yung mga ulod-ulod, no? So choosing the cleaning method is also one of the important things that you need to bear in mind. That depends on the nature of the commodity, whether some commodities need not to be washed, no? Kasi like for some crops, like kanang dry na sila, tas dili sila dapat hugasan. No, I just forgot the particular crop. I'll try to remember. And the need for a maximum elimination of dirt, like kung root crop siya, kailangan yun niya maximum na washing. And minimum water consumption. So, kailangan, kung halimbawa nakasabukid nga walay tubig, source of water, no? Or kanang well lang ang imuhang tubig, so that's need to be considered. And of course, you want to prevent injury, the rate of cleaning output. So, hanggang gaano ka malinis, then what's the demand of the consumer in terms of cleanliness, no? Then the presence ng latex. So, if may latex siya, kailangan mo talagang hugasan. And the type of commodity, care in harvesting, and the season as well. No? Pag maulan, maputik, so yun, you need to wash it. So there are crops that are not washed, like the onion and garlic, because meron na silang slippery skin, no? So these are the crop. This is only if when you harvest them during dry season or walang ulan, so these are not contaminated with dirt or mud, no? And strawberry, mushroom, and florist crops are two.
Ang kwan, ma'am,
What? What was that?
ang luya, ma'am.
Garlic,
Ang luya, ma'am.
kailangan yun na siya hugasan. So these are just crops, no, that exempted from washing. Even strawberry and the mushroom and other flowers are not needed to wash, no? But you have to wash it before you eat the strawberry and mushroom, of course. But when you still use that for in the market, so no need to wash. And the potato, sweet potato, before storage, huwag mo munang hugasan. No? Only when you use it, because the water absorbed causes sprouting if stored at high temperature, and should be washed only after storage, now or before selling. So there are various types of cleaning methods. We have washing, wherein you use water, which you should know that it should not be colder than the fruit. So kung you're gonna use cold water, the fruit might take in water. So the fruit will absorb the water, and you know washing is is uh, is what do you call that? Is dirty, no? When you do washing, it's still dirty, so you don't need the water to be absorbed by the fruit. It's not sanitized. And spray washing or soak and rinse with detergents, the sodium metasilicate plus the trisodium phosphate if water is hard. So, meron ding spray washing or soaking. And then wiping is done in tomato, muskmelon, cucumber, gourds, and citrus. We also have dry brushing done in ginger, lanzones, and durian, and forced air cleaning method in durian and cordyceps. Or removal by hand. You just remove the dirt or the mud using hand in root crops and corn silk. There are also various ways, as you have seen in previous videos that we watched in the on the previous class we have, yung water treatment in mango. So we have some chemicals that also use or mix with water, and some of the sanitizers we use are the chlorine, of course, very common, and the hydrogen peroxide, the peroxyacetic acid, and even ozone. We also use fungicides for fungus and sulfates. So chlorine, these are the characteristic in the use of chlorine in post-harvest. So usually nasa 75 to 100 ppm concentration, and if dissolved in 80% water, meron siyang hypochlorous acid, the active ingredient that kills the pathogen. So now you know why sanitizer ang chlorine, because it has the active ingredient hypochlorous acid. And this decreased represence of organic matter, and the pH levels will decrease than 6 then or increase at 7.5. And this is also corrosive to equipment. So kung maglinis kayo, huwag niyong lagyan ng chlorine for equipment. And it will also careful because it will irritate your skin and damages the mucous membrane. And it will also react with organic matter to form trihalomethane, which is carcinogenic. So we've been using, siguro since birth, I was born 1980s, and as far as I can remember, meron na talagang chlorine. So, but the general people do not know this, that the risk of using chlorine. So hopefully now you will know you have to be careful when using, kasi it's also carcinogenic, although matagal na natin na itong ginagamit. So there are a lot of sources of chlorine for washing. We have sodium hypochlorite, which with this ppm concentration, yun yung household bleach na Zonrox. And we also have calcium hypochlorite, or yung ginagamit sa pool, chlorine. Kaya huwag kayong uminom ng tubig sa pool kasi meron yang chlorine, aside from the bacteria and other viruses na contaminated sa pool. And also used for fresh produce in US na EPA, or yung kanyang Environmental Protection Agency. And we also have chlorine dioxide. It's a yellow-greenish gas with 2.5 times higher oxidizing power ng chlorine. So, also used in drinking water.
Ma'am.
Yes? the afternoon, 1 to 5 ppm. So, yun So, may tatlong sources of chlorine na ginagamit. And yung most effective sa kanila ay itong chlorine dioxide. We also have hydrogen peroxide. So, this is also within this percentage. Remember, hindi lang yan umabot ng 1%, ha? This is also allowable by US Food and Drug Administration. And it's been used as antimicrobial for potato, mushroom, tomato, orange, apple, and lettuce. And with lactic acid bacteria, it deactivates the Escherichia coli, the Salmonella enteriditis, and Listeria monocytogenes. No? As you can see, these are the bacteria that are deadly to people. If you can ingest E. coli, within 24 hours, kailangan madala ka sa hospital. Otherwise, and even some salmonella, no? Otherwise, you'll be dead with food poisoning. So this can be applied at ambient or high temperature without loss of strength and may produce browning or bleaching in some vegetables. Kaya ginagamit natin ang hydrogen peroxide for bleaching of our clothes. We also have another one, peroxyacetic acid. It should not exceed 80 ppm and wala siyang toxic residues and soluble in water and less affected by OM, organic matter. And it's very active in acidic pH, but reduced by metal ions. And concentrated products are very toxic to humans. So magiging, the concentration will exceed 80 ppm, magiging toxic siya. Now, the OZ or the ozone is also used for oranges based on grass and water-soluble gas form transmitting oxygen that further reacts with O2 or oxygen to form O3. So, it's the strongest oxidizing agent and sanitizer, diffusing through biological cell membranes, although no toxic residue siya and less sensitive to pH. But it's unstable in water. So, within 15 to 20 minutes lang. And must be generated on-site. At it will also be toxic to humans and very corrosive to equipment. So, nakakasira siya ng mga equipment. So, the following are the approved fungicides for post-harvest use because not all fungicides are approved for, especially yung mga fungicides na very toxic, yung label na talaga na may skull. So, and they are systemic fungicides. So, some of them are not already allowed for post-harvest use kasi readily na kinakain na natin ang fruit like or banana for instance. So, hindi na siya pwedeng lagyan ng supposedly ng fungicides. So, we have, pero meron pa rin mga lesser na concentration ng fungicides which are not very toxic. We have the thiabendazole for anthracnose, for papaya and banana, and crown rot in banana. And we also have thiophanate methyl in banana and mangosteen, and carbendazim for banana and mango. And we also have imazalil and sodium orthophenylphenate for citrus, like lemons, and phosphotyl aluminum for durian, for phytophthora, and prochloras and azoxystrobin in mango. So, don't be confused kasi these are the generic names, no? Meaning mga chemical name nila. But when you buy a fungicides, may mga na yan, mga brand names. Like, ano yung mga brand names ng fungicides na alam ninyo dyan? Bryle. Ano sa yung mga fungicides brands na nahibalaan ninyo? Kung mo ka-remember? So, kasi kani, dili ni mga brand names, mga chemical names ni siya. So, we have diethane. Kailan mag-diethane? wala pa pud mo ka remember ay ka dungog ana. So example of a fungicide is diphane. So another one is sulfates. It's used for delatexing banana, mango, and papaya, and also aluminum potassium sulfate or alum. Now you know that alum or tawas is chemically known as aluminum potassium sulfate. And it also make pickled fruits firm, so and cure mouth sores. It is used for 1% in mango for dipping, and magnesium sulfate is also used in half percentage in banana. So the problems during washing are the following. Una, yung spread of microorganism. So trim or soft before washing and change water regularly. And second is the difficulty of the removing the latex. So you apply chlorine for disinfection and also alum for delatexing. And prolonged washing will also result to absorption of dirty water due to hydrostatic pressure. Like yung sinabi ko kanina, if mas cooler ang water nimo kaysa fruit, so dapat you use warm water, not cool water. And do not soak banana greater than 15 minutes for 30 or half an hour. And decrease the depth of water tank from 300 to 30 centimeter in potato. So water elimination is the removal of surface moisture after washing or waxing. So this is another step after. So kanina trimming, second we have washing. Now is water elimination, or in Bisaya, trapuhan, no? Kung manghugas ng plato, trapuhan or draining. So it's the removal of surface water after washing or waxing, and versus drying or dehydration, and maintain quality of produce via spread of microorganisms and dilution of fungicide. So there are 4 ways to eliminate water. We have the deep drying or use of foam rollers and dry heat, dry air in tunnels, and the use of high velocity air. So another is one of the post-harvest na steps or procedures done is curing. This is the process of toughening, but not in all crops, only for root crops. And even we also have pomelo, no, curing na tinatawag, or citrus. Kasi mas matamis ang pomelo or yung mga citrus kapag naka-store siya for 3 days. So mas matamis siya kaysa fresh siyang kainin. So it's the process of toughening and self-healing of bruises and skin areas in root and tuber crops, citrus, and rapid closing of the neck of bulb crops under favorable condition. So even in bulb crops, like curing also applies the term. And wood healing for root crops and tubers, the development and suberization of new epidermal tissue or wood periderm. So pag masagutan, masamadan, or if the skin is cut in root crops, so meron silang self-healing, wound healing. Automatic yan. It's because of the suberization ng epidermal tissue. So the wound periderm will protect against moisture loss and entry of microorganisms. But there are stages of curing, no? Like for root and tuber crops, deposition of suberin in tubers, lignin in root crops, and both for carrots. It takes 7 to 15 days for potato and from 3 to 12 days in sweet potato. For onion and garlic naman, the outer scales will dry up and become crispy, and neck bends and flattens and dries up. So usually 12 to 14% moisture is lost, and 3 to 5% of weight is also lost. So for citrus, it's called lignification, the inhibition of cytal decline in lemons, and they become antifungal. So what are the methods? For bulb crops, you just solar or sun dry or wind rowing for 5 to 10 days, or air or cold curing for 2 days or longer, or forced heat air curing for 48 to 60 hours. So using a machine ito. And for garlic, 8 to 12 hours at heated air at 37 degrees Celsius. So this should be your guide when you do the post-harvest handling of bulk crops. For citrus naman, pomelos are kept at room temperature for 1 to 2 weeks in open racks or in bulk. So yung sabi ko kanina, pomelo can be done in as early as 3 days, no? But here, 1 to 2 weeks nga yung kanilang method. For mandarin, 3 to 5 days at 30 degrees Celsius. For root and sugar crops naman, you should stock it outdoor for 4 days covered with canvas or woven mats, or grasses straw, or straw used as an insulating material. So what are the factors that affect curing? So we have, of course, first, temperature. If the temperature is high, crop is normally raised. Wound healing is faster. No? The relative humidity naman, ang optimum niya is 80 to 95%, it will heal rapidly. For bulb crops, low RH, it will also dry next at 60 to 70%. And the presence of gases, both carbon dioxide and oxygen. So in post-harvest handling, there are 2 gases that are very important, no? The oxygen content and the carbon dioxide. So higher than 10% carbon dioxide and lower oxygen, lower than 5%, will decrease respiration and will inhibit wound healing. So these are the optimum requirements in terms of temperature, RH, and duration. For pomelo, ayan, with 25 to 28 degrees Celsius, 95 to 98 relative humidity for 2 weeks, or 1 to 2. And onion naman, potato, yam or ube, cassava, and taro or gabi. Ayan. Another factor that affects curing is the type of damage. If it's smooth cut, it heals faster. Pag abrasion naman siya, it will result in deep, irregular periderm. So cuts form in periderm, and compression and impact damage prevents periderm formation. So pag na-compress siya, hindi rin siya mag-cure. And the length of period after harvest. So fastest after harvest and decrease during storage. So cure as soon as possible. So after harvest, ang recommended talaga is to cure that immediately. So attaining curing temperature condition in highlands. So we all know that highlands have higher temperature. So, and we know that lower, malamig, lower temperature. And we all know that to enhance curing, we need to have higher temperature. So, if you are in the top of, saan ba yan? Kapatagan. Have you been there in Kapatagan? Digos?
Wala pa, ma'am.
So, malamig ako.
Yes, ma'am.
Ng white potatoes or patatas. So, allowing sugar to stay under the sun for a short period after harvest and before collection. You are in the highlands. And placing and fire source for small quantities. And spread out the onion bulbs in ventilated places, little racks or left shaded in the part of the field. So at raining, shallots and onions and garlic can be spread under the sun for 4 to 6 days if nasa highland ng kayo na malamig yung temperature. So these are laid out in rows with tops or leaves covering the next row or covering with rice straw. And you expose the bulb to oscillating fan for 2 to 7 days. Or put the commodity in racks and plain pans of water underneath them. Cover piles of rootgrass with leaves of banana and others to trap moisture. Or dig a canal cover with steel or grid wooden slats or wire screen with wooden support and put water in the canal. So can you imagine that they do this. Tabunan nila ang banana or maghimo sila kanal, and then butangan nila og kanang mga wood, and then sa baba sa kanal na ay tubig, no? Or wire. So can you imagine that? Para lang, that's way of curing. So spread roots in the shade and cover with layer of moist or cloth or others, or put their roots in a closed room with basins of water in each corner of the room. So parang steaming ang mangyayari, no? And lower the temperature and RH if risk of infection is present or placed at high temperature. So we all know that it's because it's very risky. We all know that if the RH is very high, then the contamination and diseases will occur. So another step to curing is waxing. So anytime within 10 minutes we are done. So maybe we will just stop up to waxing. There's a lot pala of time to be done in waxing. So we will just return back to waxing, no? Another step. So I just want to show you, let's go back again to the different videos so you can see. You can see the different videos on like wala pa man yun inatananing banana, no? So let's watch this.
Wala pa, ma'am.
Wala pa, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
At Dole's Bananito Farm in Costa Rica, the combination of perfect growing conditions and sustainable farming techniques allows us to harvest premium bananas year-round. It takes 12 to 13 weeks from the time the banana plant's fruit stem first appears to the time the bananas are harvested. Experienced Dole Bananeros measure the banana fingers on each plant to determine if the fruit is ready to harvest. Harvesting takes place 6 days a week. A team of 3 bananeros will harvest the plants in this section of the farm. Bananas are harvested while they are still green, so they can ripen to perfection just as they reach consumers. First, protective foam padding is inserted to safeguard the sensitive banana hands from spotting and other skin damage. The entire stem is cut off with a machete onto the waiting shoulders of a bananero wearing a protective pad. The leaves of the harvested mother plant are cut off, and the remaining stalk provides nutrients to the new daughter plant. The cut leaves are left on the ground where they will become nutrient-rich humus for the next generation of banana plants. The bananero carries the bunch, which weighs about 65 pounds, to the nearby cableway system. Once 75 bunches are harvested and loaded onto the cableway system, the train of banana stems is pulled back to the packing plant at the center of the farm, usually with the aid of a mule. The cableway system encompasses all the fields on our farm and is about 80 miles in total length. As the bunches arrive at the packing station, the protective pads are removed from the hands and sent back to the field to be used again. For quality control, each train of bananas is numbered and the location of the harvest as well as the harvesting team is recorded. The fresh bananas are washed with chlorinated water and thoroughly inspected. If the bananas do not meet Dole's stringent quality standards, harvesting is immediately halted in the field from which they originated. Banana hands are cut from the stem and placed in a tank of water to protect them and to remove the excess latex found naturally in bananas. The leftover banana stems and the protective plastic bags are then recycled. A gentle water current in the tank moves the banana hands to the next station, where they receive another quality inspection and are cut into clusters of 5 to 7 fingers. The clusters float to the next workstation, where they are removed from the water tank and placed on trays. Scales are programmed to accept the correct amount of bananas per shipping carton. The trays are then transported by conveyor to the next workstation, where they receive the worldwide symbol of exceptional quality, the Dole sticker. The cut stems then receive a post-harvest treatment to preserve freshness. The bananas are now ready to be packed into boxes specifically designed for long-distance transport. These boxes are assembled right on site. For quality control, packers personally identify each box they pack. Banana clusters are carefully laid in the box using methods that minimize any damage during shipment. Each box contains about 40 pounds of bananas. The bananas are wrapped in specially perforated material, which allows the fruit to ripen while in the boxes. To meet each customer's specific needs, Dole bananas are packaged several different ways. Loose banana hands, single bananas, and sealed in consumer bags. A last weight check ensures that each box contains the correct amount of fruit. The entire process from harvest to box is only 2 to 3 hours. The boxes are then stacked on pallets in preparation for transport. For quality control and traceability throughout the shipping process, each pallet is given its own unique pallet identification code. As part of our commitment to sustainability, the corner boards are made from recycled materials. Sometimes cardboard is used, but usually they are composed of recycled plastic created from the bags utilized to protect our bananas in the field. Once full, the pallets are loaded into shipping containers that will take them to a Dole ship at a nearby port. As you have seen, bananas are quite delicate, so very little of our process is automated. To bring you this healthy, delicious fruit, dedicated workers provide hands-on care and attention at every stage.
Okay, so it's so amazing, no? How many hours lang from harvest to packaging?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So the next video that I wanna show you is yung lettuce vacuum cooling and then yung coconut farming. But we have 3 minutes left, so we will try the coconut farming and maybe in 5 minutes kasi ito, so hindi rin natin matatapos, no? So let's just try to watch. Wait lang. Which do you prefer, coconut or lettuce?
Wala kong coconut na lang, ma'am. Kay 5 minutes. Tara.
I'm sorry. Next time na lang siguro kami mahuman na ang 1 minute story. So
Wait, ma'am.
watch.
Sige lang, tanaw lang na ako na namoron. Tanaw lang na sa Google Class.
Okay, so i-stop na ako ang record and then and if you have questions, hindi lang mo stop naman din siya. If you have questions, you can raise your questions regarding the topics that we have while we still have time. Yung packing house operations, we have packing house operations, no? Kanina we discussed. So do you have any questions? Wala yung mga pangutana?
Ma'am.
Nakita natin sa kanina sa banana how the different trimming procedure is done, right? And also
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
yung kanyang washing. No? And also bananas are also waxed. So next time we're gonna talk about waxing, and I hope to see you again on next meeting next Friday. So thank you very much for.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
And if you have some question, you can always chat me in Facebook.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I'll see you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.